E5 is a common response that establishes a presence in the center, controls d4, and opens up the queen and dark-squared bishop. Knight f3 develops the knight toward the center, attacks the e5 pawn, and prepares to castle. Knight c6 develops the knight toward the center, protects the pawn on e5, and eyes the d4 square. The Italian game starts with bishop c4, which attacks the f7 pawn and prepares to castle quickly. Bishop c5 attacks the f2 pawn and helps control the important d4 square. c3 supports the d2, d4 pawn break and allows the queen to develop on the queen side. Knight f6 develops the knight and attacks the undefended e4 pawn. d3 protects the e4 pawn and the c4 bishop and allows the dark-squared bishop to develop. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. The opening development is progressing well. The bishop is kicked by a pawn and must now move or be captured. This moves the bishop to safety. Right on target. White develops the knight and attacks the center. This is a fair move. Very precise. The queen joins the board early, building a strong opening for black. Castling kingside tends to be safer than queenside because the king is further from the center. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. This is the strongest option. The rooks can see each other now, allowing them to provide mutual defense. Right on target. After all captures, this is an equal trade. Takes back. Very precise. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. This move puts the knight on a safer square. This is an equal trade. Recaptures. Moving the rook gives white more flexibility in the middle game. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. This misses a better way to recapture a piece. A solid choice. This creates luft for the king, providing it an escape square. One of the best moves. This is the strongest option. Right on target. This threatens to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. This overlooks an opportunity to force an isolated pawn. This defends the attacked knight. This protects the attacked pawn. That's fine. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This overlooks an opportunity to challenge the opposing rook for the open file. This mobilizes the knight, allowing it to control more of the board. A very strong play. With the rook now developed as well, black has all pieces ready for action. A solid choice. The piece finds a new active square. This misses an opportunity to force isolated doubled pawns. This allows the opponent to force an isolated pawn. This misses an opportunity to force an isolated pawn. This misses an opportunity to offer an equal trade of pieces. This is a fair move. This forces the opponent to have isolated doubled pawns, which ruins their structure. After all captures, this is an equal trade. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. That's fine. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. Recaptures. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. This threatens to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. This stops the opponent from being able to tactically win a pawn. Very precise. This is the strongest option. Right on target. The queen is kicked by a pawn and must now move or be captured. This moves the queen to safety. One of the best moves. A very strong play. This threatens to tactically win a rook. This stops the opponent from being able to tactically win a rook. This defends the attacked pawn. This offers an equal trade of pieces. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. After all captures, this is an equal trade. This is an equal trade. Takes back. There were worse moves, but also something much better. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This moves the knight to safety. Now white can't stop black from winning a pawn if they make the right moves. This is the only move that works. This attacks black's pawn chain. That was a free pawn. This is the only good move. This move puts the rook on a safer square. There was only one good move there. This defends a knight that was under attack and had no defenders. This move puts the knight on a safer square. A good use of time, thinking and finding the only good move in the position. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. After all captures, this is an equal trade. Very precise. This overlooks a better way to move a knight to safety. This move puts the knight on a safer square. This is the strongest option. This defends the attacked knight. This move puts the knight on a safer square. This moves the rook to safety. This steps away from the checking rook. Right on target. This puts the rook behind the other player's passed pawn. Very precise. This defends the attacked pawn. This is the strongest option. This evades the check from the pawn. This is the only move that works. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. This is the way to win a pawn. This evades the check from the rook. This removes a pawn that was threatening to win material. Recaptures. Takes back. This moves the knight to safety. The pawn is now passed because it can no longer be challenged by pawns as it tries to promote. This is a fair move. That's fine. This is a nice tactic found in time trouble, winning a pawn. This steps away from the checking knight. This threatens to tactically win a rook. This prevents the opponent from being able to tactically win a rook. This steps away from the checking rook. An active king is critical in the endgame, and getting it off of the back rank is the first step. Right on target. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. Very precise. Pushing a passed pawn. This is the strongest option. A solid choice. This evades the check from the knight. This moves the knight to safety. Right on target. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. One of the best moves. Pushing a passed pawn. A very strong play. This evades the check from the rook. Very precise. This evades the check from the rook. A solid choice. This steps away from the checking rook. This is the strongest option. This steps away from the checking rook. One of the best moves. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. This steps away from the checking pawn. This defends the attacked pawn. Right on target. Pushing a passed pawn. A discovered attack can be powerful. This evades the check from the knight. Very precise. This steps away from the checking rook. That pawn was free for the taking. This is the strongest option. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. This wins a knight. Right on target. This move puts the knight on a safer square. This steps away from the checking rook. A very strong play. Placing a rook behind an opposing passed pawn can inhibit the pawn's ability to promote. Very precise. This evades the check from the rook. Black will be winning a rook with that fork.